Hi everybody, it's Katie, and today I will be casting an ear in bronze. Why would I want to cast an ear in bronze, you might say? Well, I've had this idea for a while now. I'm a jewelry designer and I thought it'd be really cool to have a life-size ear cast in bronze to be like a jewelry display or even a photography prop. So many years ago, I had this idea, but I didn't have a way to cast myself. And I carved this ear out of polymer clay. It's about life size, and I carved it blue because I thought maybe it'd be less weird if it was a bright color than if it was a flesh tone. This sat in a project drawer for a long time and I really didn't use anything with it. But eventually I was like, you know what, let me mold it and try to cast it in resin. So that's what I did. I made a mold. And it's a two-part mold so I can pull it apart. And I was like, well, let's give it a go. It worked well enough to cast a few pieces in resin. And so I have, this one's kind of creepy, but I have some ears cast in resin. Well, fast forward to now, I had this idea. I'm like, well, I could melt some wax that I use for injection for lost wax casting and pour it into that mold that I made and make an ear. So that's what we're going to do today. I don't know how much bronze it's going to take, but I have a melting furnace, so I think I can melt enough bronze to make my ear in bronze dreams come true. Okay, so I have my mold ready and I have a cup with wax beads in it that we are going to be melting on my hot plate. So let's go ahead and turn this guy on and get this wax melting so we can pour it into our mold. It's starting to get melty. And now we are going to pour it into our mold. I do have a glove because I'm assuming that this little handle is going to be hot. And I want to try to make sure we don't get any air bubbles. Oh, no. Making a total mess. Let's leave this and see what happens. Okay, so I just pulled this out of the refrigerator so that it would cool a little bit quicker, and I'm excited to see how it came out. Hopefully they didn't trap any air bubbles anywhere, but let's go ahead and peel this apart and see what we've got going on. Oh my goodness. Ah! Oh my goodness. But oh my goodness, look at that. That, my friends, is an ear. That is an ear. Pull that out. Oh my freaking goodness. We have an ear. Overall, like, it looks really good. I'm really excited to cast this in bronze and see it all finished up. My dreams are becoming reality. Okay, so now what we need to do is weigh our wax model to be able to determine how much metal we need. All right, so our wax weighs 11.6 grams. All right, and we're gonna multiply it by the density of the metal that we're working with. We're gonna work with some ancient bronze casting grain. So it has a gravity of 8.8. So I need 102.8 grams, but I do need to add 10 grams for the button. That's gonna help push the metal into the mold. So I need 112.08 grams. All right, so let's put our little cup here, zero it out. That's a little bit too much. Perfect. So now we have our metal that we need to cast our ear in bronze. Next step is to sprue this guy up and invest the flask. So I have sprued my ear and attached him to the rubber base. I have done it at a slight angle because it has a lot of nooks and crannies in here, and I'm afraid bubbles are going to get stuck. So I want to be able to do it at an angle so that when the table vibrates, it will make the bubbles come out, basically. We're going to go out to the workshop and mix some investment and pour that in here so it can set up and see what we get.
Hey, okay. So I have my water measured out in my rubber ball, and I have my investment measured out in my thing here, and I'm going to mix the two together, okay? Okay. I'm going to dip my ear in there to try to get some investment inside the little nooks and crannies so that hopefully it won't get bubbles. We're going to take this over to the debubbling chamber. Alright, let's put the dome on. Let's flip the vacuum chamber on. We're going to top it off and then let it sit there till it firms up.
Okay, so after this, what I did was I let the plaster harden, and then I put the flask in my steam dewaxer, and I steamed the wax out of it. This left a void where the wax used to be in the plaster that is in the shape of my ear. Next, I put it in the kiln for about 8 hours so that it finishes burning out the wax and it gets the flask up to temperature so that I'm ready to pour my metal. Let's jump to that clip now. So after this, unfortunately, I did not film this, but after the flask has cooled for a little bit, you dunk it in a bucket of water to cool it. Now you have to be careful not to do this too soon, especially with a big piece of metal like this, because the metal does not want to be cooled down too quickly. I do have a photo of what the piece looked like after it came out from being quenched and cleaned up just a little bit to get the plaster off, but not cleaned up 100%. Let me show you that photo. Okay, now that you've seen the whole process and you've seen what it looked like when it came straight out of the flask, are you ready to see the final piece? I still have a little bit work left to do on this ear. I'm not sure how I want to use it completely, but I'm going to show you the finished casting, all cleaned up, given a nice patina to highlight all the details, and we're ready to use as a photo prop. Here it is in all of its glory. It's got a nice hole to hang earrings off of. I can use this as a photography prop. Look at all the detail. I kind of like the fact that it's not perfectly smooth. Like, there is some flaws for sure, but I like it. It makes it more handmade, rustic feel to it. And like someone actually carved it, which I did. Look at that. I am so happy with how this came out. Now the final piece is pretty heavy. So it weighs 96 grams, which is about $4.25 in quarters if you want to pull out some quarters to see how heavy this is. I'm pretty obsessed with how this came out. Does it look like my ear? I kind of want to make a big old statement necklace, cast another one, and maybe flatten it off a little bit more on the back so it's not so heavy, and make like a limited run of like ear necklaces just because it's weird and kooky and it delights me. So let me know if you think I should do it. I kind of really want to. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.